Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. I know it is the weekend, but I was done with rose gold, so I wanted to push it out so you guys could get it. You could play around with it, and you could actually just go ahead and put it on sale today if you wanted. So I am going to share the screen. I don't even know if anyone's here. This is streaming, hopefully, on Crowdcast as well. So if you follow me on Crowdcast, I believe Crowdcast will push an email to you. YouTube, depending on your settings, it may or may not send a notification to you. You have to turn on, you have to one, be subscribed to the channel, and then two, you have to also hit the little bell, and then you'll get a notification when I go live. It usually, I don't know why, for me, whenever someone goes live on YouTube, I get a notification into my social tab on side of Gmail, which I never check. Um, depending on whether or not you have settings, you may not be here. Plus, it's Sunday. I know that's like a family day, but I guess since I'm single with no kids, it's just like another day for me. Oh, domestic life. Somebody is here. Hi. Botswana. Very cool. A tongue. I like that. Kalanu, you were always here. Thank you for showing up. And Tasha from Vegas. Very fun. Okay, so rose gold, this is the second year that I've had this set and it has everything in it. So, two things. One, I was making fun of rose gold the other day because Gen Z makes fun of rose gold. And so like the younger kids, I think Gen Z is up to age 24. Anyways, rose gold is like considered like a millennial thing. So I still see a lot of things in rose gold. So if you feel like rose gold is fading out, I totally get it. I will show you how to change all of the colors today in case you do like the layout, because it is a matching set and you can change it to another color that's not rose gold. Hey, Brenda from California. I am here in California too. I'm kind of wimpy though. I think it has like a high of 82 today. And I do have my air conditioning on because I don't know. I'm like unable to take heat anymore, which is odd because I grew up my whole life with all four seasons. But let me share my screen. Okay, I'm going to share my whole screen. I think I have a bunch of weird things open, so don't judge me. Hold on. I learned this neat trick too the other day. I was live streaming on the Adobe channel and they had like a professional setup. They have like a professional person helping you out. And he said for the screen, if I change my display to scaled, then I think it works. It like looks bigger. So then I think it looks better for you. Like you can see more stuff, he said. So hopefully that is still working. So let's go ahead and quit this. And InDesign. Oh, whoops. It's still InDesign did not scale itself, even though the display did. Hold on, let me scale it in another window and bring it back. All right. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that I finally kind of got my act together this year. I said this last year. I'm sure people like were laughing when I was like, I'm raising all the prices, like everything. And then I just never did. I also did the same thing last year. I was like, I'm raising the prices. And then I just never did. And then after I hadn't raised them for so long, I was like, well, whatever. Anyways, so I did raise the price of this one. So, but you can still get it at the old price. The discount code should be in the description. It's Rose 35. So that'll be on sale until tomorrow night at midnight. So like I say midnight, but I always wake up Tuesday and then I turn it off if I remember. Sometimes I don't remember. It's a miracle that I'm still in business because I'm not one of those like hardcore, like managing everything. I'm just a team of one. So sometimes things just fall by the wayside. Anyways, we have 4 different planners for you. So we have the annual that you see here. It's just a 1-pager. And these are so you can mix and match. Not everybody wants an annual inside of their planner. And then we also have the monthly, which is a 1-page monthly. And these all have new covers too, so that you can mix and match in case you liked last year's covers a little better. So this is just the whole month on 1 page. I did use a fancy script font. This is Sleep Lesson. I think it's on sale for $10 on, I want to say Font Depot. That's not right. Font Deposit. font. I've been looking at deposit photos. That's why I said font deposit. That is not correct. I think it's on, there's so many different fonts. Just look up Sleep Lesson because I did see the other day that it was on sale for $10. I don't know if it's still on sale today, but I could have swore it was on sale. Anyways, or you could use any other script font that you want. And then on top of that, we have the weekly layout, has a new cover. It looks this cover very much reminded me of Bloom Daily Planners. If you ever see their planners, their layout looks kind of the same. And then, so this is more of a weekly layout. It's more of I don't want to say simpler, but simple layout. And now that I'm looking at it, this page, hold on, there is an error. So when you download it, hold on, I will re-download it as soon as we're done. This page is wrong. So let me delete this single page. And now it is correct. All right. So now it's a left to right. And it's not a big deal. It's just that I'm looking at it as a 2-page spread. If you're sending to someone, they're probably printing out. It really only matters when it is a digital planner that the left page is on the right, the correct side. I hate saying on the right side because right could imply the right, but really, I mean, the left is the correct side. So anyways, this is the weekly layout. It's a horizontal layout, and it has the whole month over here on the right. I'm not a big fan of the horizontal, so I think this is the only planner I have with a horizontal layout. I personally prefer a vertical because I like seeing everything uniform and consistent. However, not everybody does. And, just because I like it doesn't mean everybody likes that. Oh, this is another project I'm working on. Don't mind that. Okay. Whoops. I guess I can't save it. I don't even know what it is. All right. So what am I missing? I'm missing the daily. Hold on. We're missing the daily planner. Where is the daily? So the daily, I will warn you, I have a lot of disk space, but the daily is a huge monster file. So it does take up a lot of disk memory space. So usually whenever I work with the daily file, I close everything else. However, as I always keep saying, I've upgraded to this new fancy computer. So in theory, I should be able to keep everything open. So the daily is 365 pages plus the cover of, these are interactive check marks. I don't know why I put interactive check marks in there. It's a little silly because no one's probably going to open this up on their Adobe Acrobat on their computer and hit the check marks. But for whatever reason, I put those in there. So don't worry. When you look at this as what do you call it? As a printable, you won't see those check marks. There you go. So this goes from 7 to 8. You can always change those times if you feel like your customers get up. I felt like that was kind of a normal time. Although most people are doing, I feel like the miracle mornings become really popular. I think there was a YouTuber I followed, Amy Landino, and she used to get up at 4 a.m. every day, which was a little nutty because she's single and has no kids yet. I don't know if she wants kids. That's why I said yeah. But there's really, like some people get up, I know with children, get up early before the kids get up so they can have some quiet time. But I don't know that you have to do 4 a.m. But anyways, to each their own. She has changed though since recently. She did say she had some health changes. So she has to now just wake up naturally when her body wants to wake up. So there's something to be said about just waking up at a normal time. I usually try to wake up at 5 a.m., but I do go to bed at like 8:30 or 9. So, which is funny because I remember being a kid and having to go to bed at 8:30 or 9 and like being so angry. But now as an adult, I do it to myself. Anyway, so this is the planner for the daily. And again, remember, it does take up a lot of disk space. Like anytime I package this, I have to like go downstairs, like have a cupcake, maybe bake some cookies, and then it's done by the time I get back upstairs. So let's go through. So all of these covers are very different from last year's covers. Let's see if I have I think I might have a mock-up of last year's covers. Let's see. I do have a mock-up. Here we go. So these are the covers from 2021. Very similar, but different. I think my favorite one is the weekly. Like, I just think that's a super gorgeous design. And I found all of these designs on Adobe stock. But if you like last year's designs, or you want to mix and match, and maybe you like this daily and you want to pair it with the weekly and the monthly from last year or something else, it's super, super easy. So let's say you really like this cover, right? This cover, or you don't like this, you want to use one from last year. This is simply, when I move it, it's just a graphic image. That's all it is. So a really easy way to move that. Now, when you purchase the Rose Gold planner, you're going to see two downloads, one for 2021 and one for 2022. It has everything in it. All you have to do is mix and match that one layer. So if we went over to 2021, let's say we downloaded last year's files. And let me just pull it over here so you can see it. Sales files. So what did I say? Oh, the weekly was the one that I thought was really pretty. You're going to have a file called links. Now, it's always very confusing when it says links, because links doesn't mean like it links to a website or something like that. That's what I think of when I think of links. This is just helping InDesign to link to an image. I don't know why. It just keeps them separately. I think it helps to make the file smaller when you're trying to edit it. And all you have to do is drag and drop it on top, and it should just automatically replace it for you. Now, you had to have that selected with the selection tool first, so it knows what you were dragging and dropping into. But now it's done. That's all you have to do. So if you like this pink, someone else asked me to, if you really like this pink, and let's say the word daily is something where you're like, you know what, I want this rose gold to match this. It's not really a rose. It's more of like a bright pink, like a hot pink kind of color. It's really easy. All you have to do is go over here. Go to this eyedropper tool. So over here on this eyedropper tool, you have color theme tool, eyedropper, and measure tool. I never use the measure tool, but the eyedropper tool is actually very useful. You can come over here and pick up any of these colors. So once that eyedropper tool picks up that color, voila, now you have this brighter pink. So you could do that throughout this whole document. It might take you a minute or two because these are arranged just like you see. You'd have to go through and pull up everything. So what you can do inside of this is your swatch up here at the top. And again, let me take a step back. If you don't see what I see when you open up Adobe InDesign, it could be because you have a different workspace. So if you go to Window and you go to Workspace, make sure Essentials Classic is chosen. Essentials is like the new default, which it's trying to give you more real estate on your working space inside the application. But I don't find it useful because I need all of those buttons. So I've gone back, and this is possibly too because that's how I learned it, was with the classic layout. If you are newer, maybe you are in school or something, and maybe you already know how to use it without the classic, and you're probably like, you're being lame. But anyways, my point is that if you go over here, we have to move this up just a little. There we go. See, it's very easy to fix. If you go over here to that eyedropper tool again on the left and you pick color theme tool, you should be able to just kind of click around inside of there. And now it's picked up that bright color and some other color, like it kind of guesses at like a color theme palette of matching colors that go with that first color that you chose. If you just hit the add this theme to swatches, it will now show up in your swatches. So I'll show you where that is. So if we go over to this page, and now let's go back to the selection tool. We want to make, this line that bright pink. We can just scroll down here and you'll see colorful theme at the bottom. And when you see colorful theme at the bottom, you can select that. And now you have a brand new color. Now, I do have some bad news for you. Because of the way the daily planner is set up, this is an individual page. It's not a master sheet page. You could go back and change this to a master page if you want. This is just an older template, so that's why it's set up that way. Over here at the text box, you can do the same thing. Make sure T is selected so it changes the text and not the background. And you can select that brighter color again. You could do that with all of this over here. Same thing, make sure that T is selected. And again, I only see this menu at the top because I have Essentials Classic as my workstation chosen. And we can just fix this whole thing to like Like rose gold never happened. It was never a fad. We never did it. It was not us. Okay, that's a little dark. You can also make new colors. So like maybe I want like a lighter shade of that. You can just click on this swatch and hit new swatch. It'll automatically just duplicate what you have. You can double click that and then you can kind of play around with these colors over here. You can, or if you might want to change it to RGB if you're just going to do a printable. And you could make this a different color. I'm not good with playing around with these. I usually will pick something out in, say, Photoshop and then kind of bring that color over here. So you could do that too. So, do I like that color? I was supposed to help you pick a new color. Okay, so that's a little bit muted and a little brighter, so it's not as depressing. And we'll say, okay. So it kind of looks kind of the same and you can't see the text. So we might want to change the text over here to a white, also known as paper. So there we go. And then this is the last thing we want to change, which we can change to our new thing and we can change the text to white. And voila, it's like rose gold never happened. And then you have it on all these other pages. So you'd have to change each page, but it's totally doable. All right. So moving on, let's say you wanted to go ahead and you wanted to combine all of these into one file, right? So, you have an annual, a monthly, a weekly. We won't combine the daily right now, just because, like I said, it does, even with my supercomputer, it takes a while. So let's say, a good place to put it is on maybe your monthly. You could change this to the name to something that just says, maybe we want to change it to the Royal Blue Planner. Because like I said, oh, that's a strange thing. It's a little outdated, right? So same thing. Let's just do that same tool again. So let's say we want to change the colors on here to match that blue. So I'm going to select the type tool so it knows that I want to change the color of the T. I'm going to go over here, change to eyedropper. I'm going to pick that blue up. And now I have blue for the color for this box. All right, so let's go down. We want to add what we were doing before I got distracted. We want to add the annual. So really easy. All you have to do is go to the page that you want to move into something else. So over here, we're going to take the annual. We're going to right click. We're going to say move pages, and then we're going to pick the correct document. So we were just into monthly. And we want it to be after the cover, but before the monthly starts, because logically you probably see the annual first and then you go into monthlies. So we're going to say after page 1, which is the cover. So we're going to say, okay. And then it feels like nothing happened after you say you're okay. You're like, it didn't give me any feedback. It didn't give me like a, hey, we moved it. So you have to go into your document to double check. And when we go down to the second page, we see that it's right there. That's the annual that we wanted. Now, let's say we wanted to move all of the monthly pages after the end of December, right? We're going to make this like a super file. So we could go here and maybe we won't move all of them because there's so many. Or no, it shouldn't take that long. We're going to select all of them. And then when I selected all of them, I hit the shift key. I hate when people hit things on the keyboard and you're like, what happened? So I hit the shift key. That's how I was able to select all of them. I right clicked and then I said move pages. So we're going to move all these pages. We're going to move it to that one page monthly. We want to put it at the end of the document. So I don't even have to look at page numbers. I just know it goes at the end after the monthlies are done. I'll say, okay. And we'll hope that it doesn't. Yeah, see, it didn't take that long. We did get the spinning beach ball of death for a millisecond there. And then when we go over here right after December, now I can see all of the weeklies are right inside of here. So you might want to arrange it. Usually to me, it might be a little more logical to see the monthly and then the weeklies. However, keep in mind, these are one-page weeklies, or sorry, one-page monthlies. So depending on how people print this out, it might look a little odd. So, when people print it out, put it in a binder. So just something to think about depending on how you sell these planner templates. I've done a lot of talking. Let me see if you guys have any questions. You do have questions. Hold on. There we go. All right. Please tell me that millennials aren't the oldies now. I'm only 47 and can't believe how fast stuff goes out of style. I am 47 too. Yeah, they are. Yeah, millennials are considered old. In fact, there was a picture of Britney Spears, and she was called a geriatric millennial. So I thought it was kind of funny. So they have two groups of millennials, and I think the ones that are in their late 20s, like 26 to 30, are considered like millennials. And then the ones that are 31 to 40 are called geriatric millennials because by that age, they're usually married, they have kids, they're settled in their careers, they're working on building up their 401k. And so they're called geriatric. So they're like, they've moved on to the next stage in life. So that's why they're called that. But yeah, it's like things are just moving so fast. All right. Hey, Carolyn from Maryland. Hey, Donna from Toronto. Do you have any statistics on which ones are most popular? I do not. I did a survey a long time ago, and I don't really put a lot of stock into surveys or like asking your audience what they want, because I don't think people know what they want until they see it. So, as far as colors that are most popular, it really depends. I mean, Pantone color of the year, excuse me, is always a good indication of what's trending. However, sometimes I just don't like the colors. So, and I think that's the case with a lot of people. I think this year is like not a really pretty, it's like yellow or orange or something. I can't remember, but I remember seeing it and thinking, I really don't want to design anything in the Pantone color of the year. Etsy's color of the year is a light blue. But you might be talking also about which planners are most popular, weeklies, horizontal, vertical. I'm not sure when you asked this question. But, there's really no indication other than weeklies are the most popular format, like by far, over buying a monthly planner, buying a daily planner. Everyone does prefer weeklies. But again, that doesn't mean that people aren't buying the other stuff. Jomo, what weight paper do you recommend for planners? It really depends. I always say 100 is safe. 100 is the one where it's safe enough when people do those, unboxings and they do the pen test. It won't do any bleeding. What might be a little bit of bleeding depending on what pen they're using. It probably won't do any ghosting. 120 is like paper on steroids. Like for sure, it won't do any bleeding or ghosting. But that really, I think, only needs to be used if you are selling a planner or notebook that has a lot of space for someone who likes to do bullet journaling, because bullet journaling people enjoy doing watercolor and they have tons of markers and they write over things multiple times. And so having a really thick piece of paper is important to them. And again, people talk about sometimes paper in pounds versus GSM. So you want to really work with your printer to ask them. But when it comes to GSM, I would always say 100 is like really good quality. 120 is superior quality that I think is a little excessive, but I think people will still like it. 140 even better. And then 80 is like the bare minimum that you could do for paper thickness, in my opinion. Donna, is it still the case that we get this if we bought it last year? Yes. If you bought it last year, you don't have to. In fact, you can't even repurchase it unless, of course, some people accidentally use two emails. I know I'm guilty. I have like Lisa London author email, the Lisa Latte Books email. So make sure you're using the same email. And when you go into Rose Gold, you'll see it. It won't let you purchase it because you already own it. And yes, it's the same. I will never make you, I don't know why. I get really annoyed when people like make you purchase for like the updates. So it's just my own personal pet peeve. So I never charge anyone for updates. Kalina, yes, now. Oh, thanks. It looks like black. Maybe. I think you're talking about the navy color. It could. It depends on your screen resolution. And also, I noticed too, I don't know why. I think I was watching YouTube somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and I had changed the quality on the YouTube video to like super low quality, and like everything was fuzzy. And I was like, God, everything is like broken on YouTube. It was me. I had broken YouTube. So just make sure if you want to see stuff in high resolution, whether it's my video or anyone else's, make sure you're changing your settings on YouTube if that's where you're watching it. On Crowdcast, if you're watching there, I don't think it matters. Lisa is on Crowdcast. I just looked over. Hey, Lisa. There's one person on Crowdcast. All right. I'm ancient, baby boomer. Nothing goes out of style. Yellow and ugly gray. Yes, that is it. Thank you, Kalanu. Gray. I was ugly gray. Yellow and gray. Yeah, those just were like things that inspired me. And some years like that'll happen. And we're getting so close to the end of the year anyway. A new color will come out. I think it comes out in I want to say November, maybe December. And then Etsy's color of the year, I have no idea when that comes out. I wasn't even I wasn't paying attention to that even until I think this year. In my planner shop, all the weekly and monthly planners are the most popular. Thank you. Good. Klanu, okay, that is what I meant, weekly or monthly, etc. Thanks. Hey, Klan, not just gray, but ugly gray. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let me go back into that file. I think I showed you everything, but just in case, let's see. Okay, so to change fonts, let's talk about that. This is, if you hit the T over here for type tool, it will bring up this menu again if you have the same workspace that I have, and it will say Sleep Lesson Font V1. Now, I don't know why. I think I've told people this. Sleep Lesson Font, because I keep going from computer to computer. Some computers it says Sleep Lesson Font. Some computers it says Sleep Lesson. Some computers it says Sleep Lesson Font V.1. So sometimes you will get errors when you open up your file and it'll say you don't have this font, but really you have the font. It just isn't exact, right? It's a computer. It's looking for the exact word-to-word match of your font. So don't freak out sometimes if you've upgraded your computer lately, or if you purchased Sleep Lesson and even though you purchased it and you installed it, InDesign is telling you you don't have that font. You do have the font. You just have to relink it. So don't panic about that. But anyways, as long as you have something selected, you can just change it. I don't think, let me look at styles. I can't remember if I did character styles. Oh, I did do character styles. So if you are not familiar with character styles, they were meant to save you time. So let's undo what I just did. And if we go up to anything in this document and we open up window, you go to styles and open up character styles. So when character styles is selected, anything that I've created a character style for will show up here. Now, what are character styles? I do have a video on this, but it's basically just a way for you to quickly, in 1 second, change whatever you want to that particular character style. So if you go, let's do the selection tool. If we hit July, we can see that this is the character style. If we hit, can I hit there, 2022, we can see that it's Texta. So let's say I don't really like Texta. I'm going to change this. All you have to do is double click it. You can rename this, rename it whatever you want. Okay. And then over here for formats, you can change this font right here to adorable. I don't even know what that looks like. Oh, that does not look right. So when it says no glyph, that means that particular font does not have numbers in it, which sometimes some fonts don't. I can change it to Raffiator. I could do Think Pink. Oh, the font's too big for that text box. I could do an Aaron script. I could do, obviously just picking out random stuff. Courier, that's pretty hideous. But let's say I'm in a mood where I'm like, you know what? I'm designing stuff in yellow and ugly gray. I'm just going to make the whole thing hideous. So as long as you have preview checked over here, you can see what changes that you're making. You can also change the size of it. You can also change the font style if it has multiple styles, and you can also change the color of it as well. So let's say we're all moving to that blue or a bright blue or whatever I want. And when I say okay, now everywhere that font style has been applied to a particular text box or a piece of text, it now is changed. So this should, in theory, save you time if there are font styles already set up. There are not font styles for everything, but your first thing should be to check to see if something was set up as a font style. It'll be much easier for you to change it in a calendar than it will to try to do it individually for each one, which you can still do too. Sometimes if you just find font styles or character styles confusing. All right, so let's say you want to add in your own logo. So really easy on this cover. All you have to do is place new objects. So you can drag and drop it in, or you can place it. So if you don't want to know what place it is, it just goes to File, Place, and then you pick an object, whatever that object may be. So let's say I want to pick a logo. I've been using my new logo lately because I'm very excited about it. So it's my rainbow logo. I will say open. Now I have what's called this loaded cursor, and I can add that logo anywhere I want. So let's say I'm going to add it here. It's obviously not centered. I'm going to push it over here. And it's kind of hard to see against this dark background. So I might come up here and put paper around it so that I can see it a little better. But you can lay your logo down wherever you want. Same thing. So if you look at all these pages, the A master is applied. So if you want to copyright your stuff, you can just go over here to A master. You can take the type tool, draw a little text box here at the bottom, and you can use that copyright symbol. If you go to type and then you go to insert special character symbols and just choose copyright symbol, it will just magically put that there. And then you can say 2022, Lisa Seifert, or whatever the name of your company is, and say, okay, obviously you can change the font. Mine defaulted to Minion Pro. And then when you go in, every sheet of, every piece of paper that has the A master applied, you'll now see that footer where it says 2022 copyright. So that's something else. What else do I want to show you? So you know how to add your logo, you know how to change the fonts, you know how to change the colors. Do you need to know anything else? Do you guys have any questions on anything you want to do? And I know it's hard to just be like, I'm just watching. As soon as you get into the file, if you have problems, always, always, always try to send me a screenshot because it's just a little easier for me to help troubleshoot a little faster for you on what you're doing. Yeah, like a screenshot of what you're doing and what you wish you could do. If there's something else that you saw in another planner that you really like, I can usually figure it out for you in a couple seconds. So let's see. Sure, make the whole thing. Just why not? Okay. Next year's colors will be an improvement. Orchid, rose, pink, ocean blue, sage, and malachite greens. Yeah, let's hope. Thank you for the promo code just purchased. Awesome, Tasha. Okay, so like I said, the 2022 zip file is just one singular file. I did find an error. It's not really an error. It was that when we were doing the weekly, because when I like looking at a weekly layout, I like seeing Monday on the left, Friday on the right. But again, this is just you behind the scenes. So I will make that one change and re-upload the file as soon as we're done here. Now, two things. There is a digital planner version of the weekly. So I will get that updated and get that out to you later this week. And then I will see all of you again tomorrow at, I'm going to try to start at 10. I will let you know in the morning. I'll send out another email as long as you're on the mailing list. What else is done? I think everything is done. Hold on. I have a list. I've tried to get organized this year. So we've done the rose gold. We've done the weekly. The annual, the monthly, and the daily are all updated as well. I just haven't packaged them into a zip file and dropped them into Podia, or I've done the sales file. So I'm going to work on that later this afternoon. And then tomorrow, I'm just going to share with you the annual, the monthly, and the daily. We'll get all of those knocked out. So if you have a planner that you're trying to put out there, you'll have all the files by tomorrow. They're all done. But the only thing that isn't done is the digital planner. So I will work on those this week, and then everything will be done. I'm so excited. So, and yeah, you know what I'm doing? I'm actually doing 2023 later this month too. So just going to try to get everything done. So next year we can roll these out in April and it'll be smooth sailing. Let me know if you have, I didn't even share the screen. I'm just talking about it. Sorry. Mention about Adobe Insight. You open it, you don't have the fonts, like the problem I had the other day. Yeah. All right, guys, I hope everyone's having a great day and a good rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably, like, my thought is I'll probably start at 10 a.m. It depends on when I wake up, to be honest. So I think it'll be 10, latest 11. Don't worry, we'll get all of them done tomorrow, I promise. And then you'll have everything for 2022. So then you can do like we did today. You can mix and match and make whatever planner you want. All right, guys.